Hey, I'm Adam Jusko from PropMoney.com. Citi out with a pretty good new cashback credit card, and we're going to take a look at the details. It's called the Custom Cash Card, but before we do that, I'm going to ask you to please subscribe to this YouTube channel if you have not already. And if you have already, I thank you for doing so. So Citi with a surprise attack in the credit card wars today, a new cashback credit card that I'm not sure if it would be the first card out of my wallet necessarily, but it's got one killer feature, 5% back in the category where you spend the most each month. Now there's a cap on that, which we'll talk about in a second, but that's pretty good. All right, so let's look at those details. The Citi Custom Cash Card is a no annual fee MasterCard that is going to give you rewards using the following formula: 5% cash back or 5 thank you points per dollar on your purchases in the category where you spend the most each month. And those categories can be different from month to month. You don't have to say which one you're going to use or anything. It just automatically gets figured out. Now, Citi has some categories that are the ones where you could potentially get 5%, so you can't make up your own categories or anything. And those categories are a lot of everyday stuff that you would expect, so that should make you happy. So let's go through those. Number one, you have restaurants, which includes, everything you would think of for dining. However, it does not necessarily, and I think it does not include dining delivery services. So if you're talking about Uber Eats or Grubhub or those kind of things, pretty sure that is not included in there. You have gas stations, which is standalone gas stations. Like many other cards, you're not going to get that 5% on gas from, like a Walmart or some other, big box store usually. Those are generally excluded, but gas stations, obviously a popular category. Grocery stores, another category, getting 5% on groceries is very good. Like many other cards, grocery stores means supermarkets, sort of standalone, and it does not include the big box stuff, so probably not Walmart, Target, any of those kind of things. And this is sort of the expected as far as credit cards go. You're not going to get those big box stores when it comes to groceries. Most travel purchases are another category here where you could get 5%, and so this is going to include airfare, hotel, cruises, most of sort of the big travel categories, and then some other stuff, would be excluded. Things like car rental and other things are not necessarily going to be part of that. And in fact, the next category is transit, which is where car rental would be. So transit meaning car rental, tolls, parking. As far as I can tell, it should include Uber and Lyft and some other stuff in there as well. You've got select streaming services, which is most of the big names as far as I can tell, although I did notice that Hulu was not one of the streaming services in the list. So if that is your streaming service of choice, you may not be getting your 5% there unless they're still working on adding that. But as of today, they're not showing it. And then you've got these last four here that I think are probably a little less attractive to most people, unless you're making a big purchase maybe somehow in one of these categories. So those are drugstores, home improvement stores, fitness clubs, and then live entertainment. And then everything else that you buy with this card is only going to give you 1%, so you probably would want to be sort of planful in terms of thinking about what you are going to spend on to get that 5% each month, instead of just, kind of scattering a whole bunch of categories and then taking the 5% on whatever happened to be the most. So if you're someone that held multiple cards, you can sort of be planful on this and make it your gas card or your grocery card, etc., and maybe use a different card for the rest of your purchases. Now that $500 cap per month on the 5% categories maybe on the surface seems like it's not very high, but I think for a lot of people it's not even necessarily going to be very easy to hit that. And if you looked at something like the Chase Freedom Flex card, where they have rotating categories each calendar quarter, the cap on those is $1,500 on the 5% categories, which, slice it up, it's essentially the same thing. $500 per month is what you are sort of getting with those as well. So this is sort of in line, and you are the one making the choice of what that 5% category is going to be with this Citi card versus something like the Chase Freedom Flex, where they tell you where you're going to get 5%. And then let's not forget the bonus opportunity here, $200 if you spend at least $750 in the first 3 months of having the card, which is a hurdle I think most people would find themselves able to get over. So that is a nice bonus on top of a card that has that promise of a 5% reward. So pretty nice. Now, as I mentioned, the cash back that you are getting on this card is actually coming to you in the form of Citi thank you points, and they're saying 5% cash back is equal to 5 points per dollar, and so that suggests that your thank you points with this card are worth a penny a piece when you redeem for cash. And so when you redeem for cash, you can do that in the form of statement credit, you can get direct deposit, you can get a check sent to you. Not sure what the thresholds are in terms of how much you would have to earn in order to use it in each one of those ways, but you're getting a penny per point on those. Now, with the Citi Thank You program, there are other cards also that give you Citi Thank You points in the Citi lineup, and so you could also combine them with other cards there, and you could use them for things like gift cards for travel and other things as well. So this is a cash back card on the surface, but you also could use it within the Citi Thank You points program. All right, other things to note with the new Citi Custom Cash Card, you will get a 0% interest rate for 15 months on new purchases with the card, also 0% on balance transfers for 15 months, although there is a balance transfer fee if you move a balance from another card onto this one. So that is pretty nice if you want to take advantage of the 0% offer, especially on new purchases. You know, maybe carry some balances in that first 15 months if you make a big purchase and you want to do so at a 0% rate. That is another nice thing to have on your card. Regular interest rate on this card, once we're past those first 15 months, is going to be anywhere from 13.99% to 23.99%, at least as I make this video, depending on your credit history. You could be on the low end, which is not a bad interest rate in today's credit card market. If you're up over 20%, that is never good. And of course, as always, you really shouldn't be carrying a balance from month to month, and if you don't, it doesn't matter what interest rate you have because you will never pay interest. Foreign transaction fees, 3% of the purchases that you make outside of the United States, you're going to get that extra fee on top of it. So if you make a purchase with this card outside of the US, they're going to add 3% for no particular reason other than to drive you crazy. Otherwise, not a whole lot to talk about here. Now, this is a Mastercard, and perhaps it is a World Mastercard or a World Elite Mastercard. It was hard to tell from what Citi has so far announced, but in the past couple of years, Citi has mostly stripped all of these sort of extra benefits that some cards give, like warranty protection or travel protections or that kind of stuff. So you really are not getting any of that kind of stuff with Citi, and it looks like you're really not getting any of it here. So even if it has sort of a better designation than just Mastercard and says World or World Elite or whatever, doesn't seem like you're going to be getting a whole lot extra with this card. So it's the rewards, it's the bonus that you really are going to be getting excited about here, and maybe that 0% offer as well. Now, with all that said, do I like what this card is offering? Yes. Did I immediately go and apply for it? Yes. Did I get approved? Well, let's see. Yes, my Citi Custom Cash Card is on its way with a credit line of $7,800 and an interest rate of 13.99%, which is the low end of the range I just talked about. I noticed on the approval page that it also says that if I wanted to, I could use up to 10% of that credit line before the card actually gets to me. I've never noticed that before. Maybe that's something Citi has done in the past. I think I can wait until the card gets here, but more and more the big issuers are doing what they haven't done in the past, and that is giving you access to some of your credit line as soon as you are approved. So I got the instant approval and my card's on its way. So this is a good new card from Citi. Obviously, the danger here for them is that people will get this card and only use it to get the 5% in one particular category each month and never spend in any other categories that would only get 1%. So for me, I'll probably make this, my 5% restaurant card or my 5% gas card or whatever, and I probably won't use it in other categories. And so that's probably not what Citi's hoping for. But for every one of me that is going to, sort of think of it that way and do that, there are probably many others who will use this as their everyday card, and of course that is what they are counting on. So it is a pretty nice new addition. The credit card market has really heated up over the last month or so. A lot of changes, a lot of new cards coming out, so there are plenty of good opportunities out there. And if you're someone that holds a lot of cards, you really can continue to get more and more sort of in each individual category if you are willing to remember them and pull out a different card for all your different purchases. So that is it. I would love to hear your take on the new Citi Custom Cash Mastercard. Put those questions, comments in that comment section below. Otherwise, I thank you for watching, and as always, please go to proudmoney.com where we do credit card reviews and we talk personal finance, we talk deals, and all sorts of other fun stuff too. Thanks for watching. Bye.